What's up, YouTube? How's it
Hey,
going?
YouTube.
Facebook coming up.
It could be me singing Moana.
You could be singing Moana.
No.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. Or would we get into copyright issues?
If I'm singing it, probably not. If we're using the music, absolutely.
well, if you're singing Moana, hi Facebook.
It's
If
just
you're
a cover.
if you're
Just
singing
covering
Moana, we might get a cease and desist just to keep you from singing it. That's
Are you saying I can't sing?
exactly.
Pretty. That is, yeah. That's,
Accurate?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I can't sing. So I'm not offended.
We are live.
I'm offended that I'm not offended.
You're offended that you're offended.
That's right. I should be offended by you saying I can't sing, even though it's true.
No, it's true. Hey, Facebook.
What's going on,
So
Facebook?
here's the situation. You see this third window. You see somebody who is missing. You see your princess crown waiting for whoever is missing. Church is running a little
Lobster
behind.
Church is running late.
Lobster Church is running a little behind, so we're going to hang out on Facebook with everybody for a little while. And, talk about
Do you think he
whatever.
was up late watching the royal wedding?
It's very possible.
Or up early, I guess, technically, because it was 4 o'clock our time.
I feel like he probably never went to sleep. He was so excited.
Well, he must have been doing some sort of preparations last night, because I got on Xbox at like 9:15.
Yeah,
He was on.
yeah.
I asked him to play. He never came back, so he must have been getting some preparations.
Was
for
he
his
watching
watch
one
party.
of the many Meghan Markle American Princess Netflix shows, or
It said he
Hulu?
was on Destiny, but I'm gonna guess he's coded it some way to where nobody knew he was actually researching the future
the royal
princess.
wedding? It's very possible. It's very possible.
I mean, good for them. David Beckham was there.
I'm sure.
I mistakenly thought it was because this is hilarious. I'm looking at this and I go, "Oh my gosh, Missy Elliott was at the wedding," and then I was like, "Oh, never mind, that was Oprah." Because it was just her face was covered, and all I just saw was a bigger lady. And anyway, it was Oprah.
Okay.
So
Well,
yeah. And then what's the guy that does the TV show that he always does karaoke carpool? What is his name?
James Corden.
Yeah, he was there.
Okay.
Yeah. Joan told me that. But I know people that literally got up early this morning to watch it.
I think CNN coverage started at like 4 o'clock.
You
or
could watch it
something.
on YouTube.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-mm. I'm sorry, I'm not that dedicated. Now my grandfather was really excited about it. Now, I don't know why, but he literally was like, "I'm going to watch this, and my uncle's coming in town today." And he goes, "And I'm going to have to meet him, and I really hope I don't miss much of it." Like, he was really excited about it last weekend.
Well, I mean, it is this whole big thing. Like,
Right. Well, because it rarely happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he said, "I hope I don't miss any of it." Well, then when we found out last night that it was at 4 o'clock in the morning, I was like, "Oh, well, he's not missing anything because he gets up at 2.
Oh yeah.
So he'll have watched every bit of it and then go to the airport to pick up my uncle." But yeah.
Nice. Church is in the driveway. So.
Oh, good. The princess has arrived. Can we play a procession?
Oh, if I would have thought about it, I can. I'm getting more and more into what XSplit can do. I've been playing with XSplit, which is how we do all of our broadcasting, our split screen stuff. Hey, Barry, what's up, man? And I've also been playing with Streamlabs OBS for the game streaming stuff.
Yeah.
Because I've decided what I'm going to do. So I'm going to play D2. I'm going to play Destiny 2 on PC to go through it, but I'm going to stream the whole thing going through the campaigns. So I'll Twitch.
So you'll
all of
start
that
at
out.
0, I guess, right?
I will start at 0 because the characters don't transfer between PC and Xbox.
Oh, that's rough.
So I will start at 0.
I mean, that's like some for real play right there at this point.
So now I don't know, like, is this the time that I actually break, like, don't do a Titan? Do I play a Hunter? Do I play a Warlock? Like, I feel like I might play
I'm gonna
a
tell you
Hunter.
right now, if you're gonna do that, you got to go Hunter.
I'm
I mean,
thinking Hunter.
Warlock. Got to go Warlock.
I don't know. We'll see.
The only reason is because in the beta, the Warlock was so overpowered,
Oh, yeah.
and
Well,
even in the first section of the game, I felt like the Warlock was just as capable as a Titan, not as durable. We're gonna get sued.
probably. Absolutely terrible. Church is here. We are live on Facebook. And you too.
The princess has arrived.
You're the princess.
Well, we were kind of giving you a hard time because you were having to deal with rain.
Yeah. So we decided
we might have said something.
We might have mocked you slightly.
It was like 3 minutes of rain too, just as hard as it could for 3 minutes, and then it quit. It's fun.
Is that because you drove out from under the rain?
Most likely.
Okay. it's still raining.
Nice.
It's just not raining where you are.
It was fun. I'm only happy when it rains.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
There we go.
Or when it doesn't, I'm pretty happy right now too. So.
Who sings that song?
Garbage.
Yeah, that's right.
There we
And
go.
it was like a 90s
Good old garbage.
grunge song.
Yep. So, yeah. Okay. Everybody's
Lobster
in the house.
Church.
Lobster Church is returned after
I
a
like that
couple
hat,
weeks.
man.
It's non-lobstered at the moment. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
After a
pretty cool.
Love this
couple,
hat. Love this hat. Picked it up a couple weeks ago. Been wearing it ever since.
I like it. Is it a?
you may also be
Tulsa
wearing
Wheels? Is that what it is?
a hat on the stream right now that you may or may not be able to see.
You weren't supposed to tell him.
Can you not see the hat?
No, not me. You.
No, you.
Oh, okay. Is that what you were referencing?
Perhaps.
Correct.
My mom is.
Because we were convinced that the reason you were really running late wasn't the rain.
It was the
It's
royal
because
wedding.
it was you were watching the royal wedding.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Like you got up at 3, got your food prepared.
Was it at 3?
Well, our time it was at 4 a.m., 4:30, something our time.
That's so
Yeah.
dumb. No one wants to have a wedding at 3 in the morning.
Well,
Look
when you're in
that up.
England, it's like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, but where does England get all their money and their attention from? America. You got to cater to us. You're getting pretty old, England. We're your kids. Stop acting crazy or we're going to put you in a home.
All right.
Shady Pines, England.
Shady Pines.
Shady Pines.
All right.
That's Shanna's influence.
All right. Let's get this show on the road. Here comes the actual recording part.
All right.
Good morning, everybody. It's Gather the Nerds, episode 87. I'm Cav. That's Nick.
What's up?
Church has returned.
Hey, guys.
87 is the best year for Topps baseball ever. It's the wood grain border. I love
Okay,
that series for
okay.
so much. I'm just attached
I thought you
to
were
that
going to say
series.
something else. I thought it was the bat picture.
The bat picture?
Yeah, with the writing on the bottom of the bat that we managed to pull out of a.
Oh, yeah.
What year was that?
What year was that? Was 86.
86.
Billy
okay.
Ripken.
Was it 86?
Isn't it 86? Billy
I-
Ripken?
I don't have
Or
it
is
here.
that
I think it
87
was-
Fleer?
That
89?
88?
I don't know.
Either way. 87, best year. Got it.
Well, if you're listening, watching, we appreciate you peeling yourselves away from the royal wedding because we know that is a thing.
It is absolutely a thing, and I can't figure out why, but it is. I
You
guess
don't
it's
really
just the
care about
rarity
it.
of it.
I don't either.
Which, to each their own. If you wanna nerd up about the royal wedding,
That's true.
have fun, man. It's
I'm just saying.
it's a
that-
gala.
Here's the thing. I
Enjoy.
feel like we're dedicated to going to cons and staying in there all day long, being exhausted, getting back up at the next morning, doing the same thing.
Over and over. Yeah.
I'm not getting up at 5 in the morning to go to a con, so you're dedicated if you're doing that. Period.
If we ever make it to San Diego, we
Well,
better
okay,
prepare.
San Diego's one thing. But yeah, no,
But you're not talking about like Tulsa Con or anything.
I'm not talking about Denver.
It's just a generic local
I,
con.
I will. I will get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go to a convention at 8 when it, and then it doesn't open until 9 or whatever. But I getting up at 4 in the morning to prepare myself to.
What if they opened that early? Because it's not like people are
If
getting up
they
at 4 in
open,
the morning
sure.
and the
Yeah,
royal wedding
yeah.
starts at 9.
No, if they open, sure. Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
different. But
Oh,
no,
I guarantee you, people were lining up. I mean, days in advance along the processional, whatever stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
It's
you got to
crazy.
figure they were probably
That's
camping. And
nuts. I mean,
everything.
it's not
Yeah.
like they're selling low-priced electronics or anything.
Not like Black Friday.
It's not Black Friday.
If I'm lining up outside the place for days,
You got to get a good
I better
TV.
get $100
I
TV
better
out
be
of this
seeing
royal
Infinity
wedding.
War, which I don't have to line up to see anymore.
I do. We've talked many times how that is the one thing that is somewhat missed. Is there's a lot of camaraderie around the
There is.
standing together for hours on end before a movie starts. Before reserved seating, and now reserved seating took that away. But you know what? I like having reserved seats more than I like standing around with people I don't know.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the first movie that you and I went together, that's exactly what we did. We stood for 2 hours before
Yeah,
we could ever get
probably.
in. I think it was a midnight movie at that point.
Could be.
I think we do have to build the momentum before we get there, though. by talking about it, thinking about it, watching previous movies. It used to be basically, you'd get there hours in advance because of what a big title this was. And the energy level was just palpable.
Yeah.
True.
And, everyone got in there and everyone was just jazzed already.
And it was only the hardcores.
Right.
Like, you were with your people.
People cosplayed, and then, they still do, but people would get in line and cosplay kind of before cosplay was hitting the big time.
Yeah.
Well, and now it's so restricted at a movie theater for obvious reasons that...
Oh, really? Did they not let you anymore?
Well, a lot of movie theaters, like when the new Star Wars came out, they were like, no, fake swords, no masks. Like, they totally...
Only real swords here.
Yeah.
Only real swords.
They
Only
just,
real
they wanted to make sure that whoever they were allowing in dressed up, they could control that. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I mean, it's for everybody's safety. But anyway.
Well, we've got some things to get into. Some DC, some Marvel, some movie stuff as well. A little bit of TV, some gaming, stuff like that. Some non-Destiny gaming for once, which is unusual.
Are we finally talking about the Hunter?
We are not talking about the Hunter. Although new Sea of Thieves.
The Hunter.
So private ships are out for Sea of Thieves, where you can basically do a galleon, but it's private, so you don't stick with any random. So that's out. And Hungering Deep, I think, is next week or the week after, which is the next free DLC.
Well, I might have to jump
Hungering
back into
Deep?
the ship.
Well, the Hungering Deep.
Sounds like an Adele song.
Yeah.
It
Hungering
does.
in
I
the
mean,
deep.
it does. Come on.
Before we get started,
Sounds like how I was feeling before I stopped at Quick Trip this morning. I was hungering pretty deep there.
Yeah, I bet.
before we get started too much, if you are local to us, Tulsa, Oklahoma City area-ish, Tower Theater is doing a viewing of Mask of the Phantasm on the 23rd. And they're doing so there's a podcast out of Oklahoma City called An Animated Discussion, and they're doing a discussion panel after the viewing. So if you've never seen Phantasm in theaters, like, you should go. It should be fun. Unfortunately, I can't make it down there, but I'll just watch it here instead. So 25 years since Phantasm came out. There's also a pretty amazing print that they have online. It's a limited run of 25. That's there on their website. You can go to our Facebook, and we've linked up where you can get that. So, speaking of Batman, do we want to talk about Batman comics, Batman TV, or Batwoman TV?
Batman TV.
Batman TV. All right. So 2 pieces of Batman TV news. Gotham season 5 is going to happen. It will be the last season of Gotham. It will be reportedly 13 episodes to get them to the 100 episode mark. It will wrap up the Batman. It will start the Batman storyline essentially. Like, they are going to wrap up the series in a way that they want to. There was a discussion about whether it was going to get renewed or not because of Lethal Weapon, and if Lethal Weapon found somebody else to take the spot of Riggs, because that actor got fired. Sean William Scott, aka Stifler, is joining Lethal Weapon. I believe is Riggs' brother. Like, they're writing Riggs out of the show, and so instead of killing him off, I don't know, but so they're doing that. So that'll be interesting. So, but we do get Gotham. There's been some early discussions about what there will be. We might see people like the ventriloquist. We might see some other stuff, but this is going to be a rapid acceleration into essentially what they've always said the final scene will be, is him putting on the suit, like the real suit. He's done prototype suits and things like that, but him putting on the real suit. So 13 episodes coming season 5 to wrap that thing up.
Very cool.
So that will be pretty cool. One of my favorite Batman characters is Alfred, and Alfred is getting his own prequel origin story series,
which is a neat way to do that.
It's awesome, except it's going well. It already got a straight to episode order. It is from the people who did Gotham, Bruno Heller and that group. They are going to Epix, straight to Epix for a 10 episode order. So I don't know what I believe. Like, their working title right now is Pennyworth, and it will focus on Alfred as of like the Chris Nolan Dark Knight origin story, British SAS. Before he meets Tom, like during that series, he meets Thomas Wayne and starts to go to work for Thomas Wayne and things like that. So that is going to be I am fairly excited about that. I think that's going to be really cool.
It'll be kind of cool to watch Alfred actually get
his due for once.
Yeah.
It's too bad we can't get Pertwee.
Oh, get him to come in and play?
Because he would be so believable.
Yeah, I mean, it would be.
He's been a brutal Alfred, and it's been just glorious watching him.
Yeah. They've said, so Pertwee's not involved. This is not even set in the same universe as Gotham. Independent story, 1960s London is when that is going to happen. Now, like I said, the first part of that storyline and everything will get. I imagine that this will turn into kind of an Alfred / Thomas Wayne story over time, because Thomas Wayne is somebody we really never get a ton about. Like, we get some, but not a lot.
He's the Howard Stark.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But since it is the same people who started Gotham, like the early seasons of Gotham were great, and then they kind of went off the rails a little bit. So I imagine the early seasons of Pennyworth, or whatever it's going to end up being called, will likely also be good.
Sure.
But
I think it's a fair assumption.
Yeah. So it will be pretty cool. Like, I don't know, is there ever been an Alfred, like real Alfred origin in the comics? Like, has that ever happened? I don't know.
You would know it better than I would.
Yeah, I can't place anything. I mean, I'm sure we got pieces of it, but Alfred's never had his own comic or his own one-shot. He might have had a one-shot at one point.
What was the storyline where he was the Joker? Like, he invented the Joker as a way for Bruce to have a villain. I'm pretty sure it was a one-shot.
I don't know.
I feel that it was whenever they were at Batman's funeral, and everyone was giving, like, their own eulogy.
I don't know. I don't remember that one.
I'll find it. It's spectacular.
There is a... hey, Danny. Danny was on. Hey, Megan. Josh also was signed in.
What's up, guys?
So Shanna says, "I never want Gotham to end." Sorry.
She's going through a rough time with this.
Sorry.
I'm very excited for the next season, so that's carrying me through. Yeah. She is just nope.
You're gonna have 100 episodes to go back and rewatch whenever you want. But there will also be, with what's coming with the DC streaming service, things like that. I imagine there will be some Gotham type replacements coming in that service. It would make the most sense.
Do you think all the DC animated films will be on there?
I hope so, but I know I said hope, but it is.
I wasn't going to say it.
I know. It would make sense. It would make sense for them to be on there. It just depends on, like, I don't see why you wouldn't put the older ones on there because they're on Netflix now, but I don't know what their deals are with Netflix or Hulu or any of those people. I don't know what their licensing deals are with that.
The older ones, which ones?
I mean, you go back to, like, there's a couple of JLAs. There's some Batman, like, Under the Red Hood, which is incredibly brutal.
That's on Netflix now?
I don't know. It was at one point.
I went through a lot of them last night on the Roku to see, because I'm trying to watch Justice League Dark.
Oh, yeah?
I wanted to see if it was on anything, and it's not. I mean, you can rent it, which I totally will at some point, unless you own it.
I probably do.
Okay.
I should. If I don't, I'm disappointed in myself.
But I couldn't find anything that's available for streaming right now.
Going, shame, 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 shame.
Well, the thing about, I mean, Justice League Dark was the second R-rated one. It's an R-rated.
What was the first?
Dark Knight Returns.
Oh. Yes. Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Wait, what? Say that again?
Dark Knight Returns animated was R-rated.
Right, but I thought it was the Killing Joke.
Killing Joke.
Killing Joke was, you may be right. Dark Knight Returns was PG-13. Killing Joke was R-rated. Justice League Dark was also.
Because I remember we talked about Killing Joke being the big break where they took it to the level R.
Yeah, and now there's like 3 or 4. The latest Suicide Squad one, like, I can't remember what's called. It's called something. It just came out not too long ago. It's also R-rated, and so they're really leaning into this R-rated animated thing.
Is it weird to you guys that to me it just like cartoons? I love them obviously, but isn't it weird that we're excited that they're rated R?
It's, I mean,
I think it's weird that it took so long to get there.
They know their audience.
It just feels weird. That's all I'm saying. We're excited that there's a Batman animated series and it's rated R.
It's a funny concept, though.
It is.
It absolutely is.
Absolutely.
But
in my head,
because it works. That's the thing.
It works. And in my head, that is the only way we're ever going to see some of these stories on screen done right.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, you
would never. I mean, you could. I mean, you may not see a live action Killing Joke, stuff like that.
I don't think you could just because of how disturbing it is.
I mean, I don't know.
You could, and people would come out to see it.
From the director of Saw and Human Centipede, here's Killing Joke.
Well, yeah, that could work.
No,
that could work.
No.
Well, I think given those
different
two
director,
examples,
please.
But I think given those two examples of movies that have worked
Human
really
Centipede
well,
just makes me think of Deadpool now.
Yeah. I know. That's the whole reason. So we did see Deadpool. We will say it is amazing. It is funny, but we won't talk about it this week, so you're safe.
And all I'm going to say about it is you need to go see it without a child and turn off your brain and just enjoy it.
Oh, yeah, just enjoy it. And so I'm excited about...
Full Winnie the Pooh.
Full Winnie the Pooh. Because we talked last week, Church, that they're doing Death of Superman is a two-parter animated. They're really
kind of
doing
excited
it again.
about that. Yeah.
So they did it originally.
Mm-hmm.
They did it one time before, and now they're actually doing it as a two-part Death of Superman, Return of Superman, two-part animated movie. They released a trailer for Superman, the first part.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, straight out of the Dan Jurgens. I mean, straight out of that book.
Do we know Nick Binty? I think I'm saying his name right. He's liking the video right now. So
I don't know.
Hey,
Hey,
what's
Nick,
up?
what's up, man?
Thanks for checking us out.
Yep. Josh says such a dad concern talking about R-rated cartoons.
You know what? Here's the deal. He has no room to talk. Okay.
So yeah, we're excited about that. Something else I am super, super excited about. Like, the last Arrow crossover was cool. Crisis on Earth X. I want the aliens, whatever. But they are bringing Gotham City, and more importantly, they are bringing Batwoman to the Arrowverse.
Pretty cool.
This is a spinoff waiting to happen. So I cannot wait for this. They announced it up front. Stephen Amell announced that we're incredibly excited to announce that we'll be doing another crossover event this fall in the CW. It will be introducing a new character. For the very first time appearing, we'll be fighting alongside Batwoman, which is terrific. The crossover is going to make it to air in December. I need to leave right now and start filming it. We are adding the city of Gotham into the Arrowverse. This will be another full-throttled, action-packed event. What we don't know which Earth this Batwoman comes from. Is this Arrow Flash Earth or Earth 2 Supergirl Earth? We don't know where she lives. So that is going to be they're bringing it'll be Kate Kane. Our friend Jeremy Hahn did a long run on Batwoman.
Yep.
This is something that is going to be pretty amazing.
Sure.
In terms of, you introduce that character does well, spin-off waiting to happen.
And I think it would be easy to do that spin-off.
I do
really
too.
I think enough people want to see that character, on TV, on the screen, other than Alicia Silverstone version.
That's Batgirl. I'm talking about Batwoman.
But I'm just saying, other than in most people's minds, do you see what I'm getting at? That's what they've seen. And so I think most people would want to see a better version of that. Batwoman kind of a thing. I guess what I'm trying to say is I think there's enough fans that would clamor for that.
And a lot of the casual fans aren't going to know that there's a difference.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I didn't until
they're
just
about
now.
to.
Just now. Thought Batwoman was whenever she turned 18,
Nope.
became a woman. I don't know.
So also, Arrowverse has always been a very open.
I'm a Batwoman now.
I'm a Batwoman now.
I'm not lying. That's what I thought. I didn't think anything otherwise.
At this point, I'm a Batwoman now is going to be the title.
There you
go. But the Arrowverse has always been very open to people's lifestyle choices, things like that. You look at Sarah Lance and it's not Talia. Help me. Trina Law. Is that Talia?
Yeah.
No, I feel it's not Talia.
Barbara Streisand.
No, Barbara Streisand. Either way.
Yeah, she was the one that you gave the map to, right?
Yeah, but that's not Talia. She plays a different
Oh,
I think.
Okay.
Am I
I don't know.
Are you talking
this
about
is
Nisa?
your world, man. You
Nissa
gotta know
Al
this
Ghul.
stuff.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Nissa Al Ghul.
You gotta know this stuff, man. This is your
that-
world.
Well, that's why I said I don't think it was Talia. So this is Nissa Al Ghul and Sarah Lance and their relationship,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Batwoman is very. I mean, Batwoman is. I mean, she is an out, lesbian character. Like that's what it is, and so. From a social aspect, we've talked about this before, how they address social issues, things like that. They better play that right, or you're going to get some really angry people.
I think we're at a point though where that's not going to be a problem.
I agree. You get the reason that I brought that up is because,
Especially when you look at Barbara on Gotham, like they pulled that off. Even
Yeah.
though that was a little weird, they still managed to pull it off.
Yeah. The reason I bring that up is because there's non-comic book related. The new trailer for Bohemian Rhapsody came out.
Oh,
the
that
one
looked
with Freddie
amazing.
Mercury and for Queen. And a bunch of people are ticked at the trailer because it just shows him with a bunch of women, and he is a gay bisexual icon, and
Yeah,
so
right.
they said that they basically, I can't remember what the term they used, something that character during the trailer to not show that part of his life as well.
Well, you just have to remember it's also a trailer to try to get the general population excited about going.
Oh,
And you could see another side of it in the movie.
Oh, absolutely. But that was another one of those trailers. Like,
Sure.
man, God, I mean, obviously the music because it's about Queen, but I mean, the music, holy, like, they couldn't have done it any better.
No,
And
no.
I mean, it was a great trailer.
And I mean, what is his name? His name is Rami, right?
Rami Malek, yeah.
Could you guys think of
I thought it was
somebody
Elliot.
on Mr. Robot? He is.
Elliot.
He's also Mr. Robot on Mr. Robot.
Wow. We just went from Queen to Mr. Robot to E.T.
Welcome
E.T.
to Gather the
phone home.
Nerds, everybody.
There we go.
Hey, at least nobody dropped the share line. You know.
Not yet. It's the
This would be a good time
here.
to bring up the Share Raptor.
Share Raptor.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen, we have posted.
Check out the Share Raptor
check out
video.
the Share Raptor on our sites.
It's magic.
It is magic. Something else in the DC
I
world.
got so distracted waiting for him to deliver a punchline. I forgot what I was even saying. It's all right.
The OneRing.net. We're going to talk about how Shanna called this thing with the
OneRing.net.
The OneRing.net is like
It's
one of the main
the
sources.
Lord
for
of the Rings thing. Huh?
Yes, and they posted something very interesting. It says Peter Jackson either going to go back to the play in the Lord of the Rings universe, or come and play in the DC universe. This is the first we're hearing anything about that. And so apparently discussions may or may not have been happening about Peter Jackson coming to the DC universe. The question is, what character do you give Peter Jackson?
What do you think, Church?
Lantern.
Give him Lantern?
I'd like to see him do Lantern, yeah.
He can do other worlds really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, Lantern, I think that's
Lantern's going to be on a very grand scale and, like you said, not familiar surroundings. Jackson's good. Jackson's really good at that.
The Lantern Corps movie could be it. That's a good call.
Okay.
I was almost gonna go Suicide Squad because he does those ensemble movies really well. But
That's true.
It depends if they go heavy action or heavy story, but I feel like you have to go heavy action. But no, I think Lantern Corps. I think Lantern, because with all the CGI, all the stuff he knows how to do, I think Lantern Corps. I think you're right. If he comes into the DC universe, it needs to be Lantern Corps. Good call. So
Now if we could just get Shanna to say it.
yes,
Then it'll happen.
Then it will happen. We might have tapped
She
into
is a
something.
scribe.
She is a scribe. Before we roll over to the Amazon, most expensive thing ever, TV series ever. Let's talk about DC Comics for a minute. Church, have you read Dark Knight's Metal?
I haven't gone to read Metal yet.
Okay.
I assume it's about Batman starting a really hard band,
Yes.
rock band.
Rock band. Batman,
No lie,
Batman
that's
Goes
what I
Metal.
thought. That is what I thought it was
Yep.
about until I asked Jared what it was
Yep.
about.
So, can I
The
spoil
band
part
is
of
called Swear to Me.
No, that's their hit. Like
That's the pop.
they're
the
called
top 100.
They're called the Dark Knights, but they're
And they play
their
metal.
number one hit
They're not the metal band that you want, but they're the
that you deserve.
And they only work in dark black, dark gray, and
Yeah.
black.
So
that's perfect.
It is perfect.
Exactly.
I want to talk about something, but I really can't without like spoiling the end of Metal.
But don't do it.
Do you want me to walk out of the room?
I haven't read it either, so don't do it.
Let me put it. Okay.
I will be reading it.
I can. I will do. Okay. I'll try and dance around this as much as I can.
Are you actually going to dance?
I'm actually going to dance. Not really.
You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind.
So Scott Snyder.
Men without cows.
Nice. So Scott Snyder is kind of guiding the DC universe at the moment. And with some things that have happened, don't read the article I posted unless you want to be spoiled with some things. So No Justice #1 has come out, which is the major team ups of the random people and their random colors and putting together people you wouldn't necessarily put together. But what's coming apparently is something on the scale of Crisis on Infinite Earth is something they are driving towards. Now, if you've read Crisis, I assume.
No.
You've never read Crisis?
I haven't read much DC. Well, I take that back. I have read a lot of Batman, but basically what I can get my hands on when we're at Borders or Barnes & Noble for 45 minutes. So there's a lot that I haven't been able to read. And since DC doesn't have an equivalent of Marvel Unlimited, it's hard for me to be able to get a hold of some of the stuff.
I'm just going to let you borrow my iPad.
That's fine with me. That would be great.
Because things like Crisis on Infinite Earth is an amazing storyline. I mean, one of the best storylines I think DC's ever done.
I know a lot of people really like the storyline.
And they are driving towards something that size. And what happens at the end of Dark Knight's Metal, which by this point the trade has come out, is how it starts.
So on Crisis, how old is that storyline?
Old.
Like
20 years? 30 years maybe?
Yeah, that's so old.
I want to say that's 80s.
Okay. And do they have trades?
Oh yeah. Oh, Crisis, yeah.
Like how many volumes?
No, they have it all. They
one?
have it all in one. But there's a DC sale going on in Comixology right now. I think when I got Crisis, I got it for $4.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
It's a good read. It's a lot of since everyone is now somewhat familiar with the multiverse thanks to Flash and Supergirl and things like that, it makes sense. There's stuff that leads up to it, but you can read it as a standalone. Mm-hmm. So Justice League No Justice is happening right now. And they're going towards bigger and bigger things. And so I'm excited that there seems to be a plan, even if they are ticking off all their readers by
raising prices. So, yeah, that's the thing.
What are they raising to?
$3.99.
The problem is not so much
before.
It was $2.99 before.
Okay.
Draw the line at $2.99.
The problem isn't so much the price as much as the fact that Marvel supplies a digital copy with theirs at the same price point, and DC doesn't.
And another point too is the big three: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman are they come out twice a month. They're bi-monthly. Yeah. They come out twice a month, so you're pulling 2 books a month instead of 1.
Yeah. So there's that too.
Yeah. So that is what's happening in the DC world right now. Let's roll over to what's happening in the TV world right now. Talking a little bit about. Actually, let's hold on. Let's just go right into Marvel.
Okay.
So Ryan Reynolds has said, don't expect a Deadpool 3 because you're going to get an X-Force movie instead.
I can take that. That works.
And that's all I'm going to say about that because we can't
That's
say...
fine. That's fine because I
can't say anything else
can't
about...
say anything.
Yep. I can't say anything. So moving on.
I think that works, though.
I do, too.
I think that's a story that would work real well.
I do, too.
Especially after seeing the movie.
Yep. A story that apparently works well, I don't believe it, is allegedly Gambit is supposed to start filming at the end of this summer, according to producer Simon Kinberg. I'll believe it when I see it.
I will believe this a month after I see it.
I will believe it after the DVD comes out. Like
when it has had its run in the theater, he will believe it.
At that point. So
Mitchell will be excited.
Yeah, Simon Kinberg...
Because Mitch is he's a big
Channing
Tatum fan, yeah.
Big Channing
that too. Channing Tatum's his dude.
So Simon Kinberg was at the Deadpool 2 premiere and says, we have a script that we love, that Channing loves. we have a bunch of different We've met with a bunch of different directors in the last couple of weeks. We're hoping to actually pick one in the next couple of weeks and shoot the movie maybe by the end of the summer.
You know, at some point though, do you figure that it might be Channing Tatum that's keeping people from wanting to do Gambit? I'm not trying to be ugly, but just
I don't think so.
I just think there's other actors that could play that role that have a better skill with accent and
I think
maybe just better acting.
Like Keanu Reeves?
Yes.
Keanu Reeves would be cool.
Keanu Reeves can play every Avenger for all I care.
Yeah.
Like, he can be Thanos and Captain America.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves could be cool.
As long as he doesn't have to do the accent.
Okay,
Devil's advocate.
So then that might be out.
If you want a really horrible Keanu Reeves accent, watch Much Ado About Nothing.
Oh, God.
Yeah. From back in probably the 90s, mid-90s.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, with Kenneth Branagh.
Yep. And
Yep.
he did a
fantastic movie other than that.
Yeah, fantastic movie, but he has a horrible, somewhat...
Michael Keaton in
Other
it.
than
British
everything
accent.
he says, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Well, he has a smaller part in it.
I was just kidding.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
And it's...
I haven't seen
By the way, 365 days, 1 year until John Wick 3. Just put that out there.
Sweet.
I
I think that'll be a movie night. What do you guys think?
Oh, yeah.
Or is it going to be a straight to DVD thing?
John
Oh,
Wick
that's
3?
that's
I'm just saying.
yeah. That's gonna
No,
Yeah, you
that-
start getting in
that'll
those
get a
upper numbers,
release.
it's like, buy it
Big
today.
Yeah, no. But we are getting an Escape Plan 2. Did you see Escape Plan with Sylvester Stallone? The prison escape movie?
I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
So, Dave Bautista, him, 50 Cent, whatever, and it's going straight to DVD. Straight to
see what I'm
Blu-ray.
saying?
Escape Plan 2.
so.
Because
If
50 Cent's
it's
wearing
Escape
glasses
Plan
in it.
2, I feel like the first one may have not worked.
Well, it worked for a minute, and then they got apprehended at Starbucks. And got put back in.
I can't say without saying. So about Gambit, I agree. Like, I don't think Channing Tatum's the problem. I just think, how do you tell that story and tell it well? Like, Gambit's one of those characters that can be fairly complex at times. Like
tell it animated like they did in the
yeah,
90s.
I mean, you do something like that, or because
But you have to let DC handle it.
yeah, you gotta let DC do it. The Marvel animated movies
Oh,
are no
that's an
good.
interesting point.
The
Might work out.
Here, why don't we just borrow your character? Hold on, we'll give him back, and it'll be so much better.
He'll be so much better.
Okay,
The thing about Gambit is, like, you can play him serious, or you play him like cartoony. Like, he's a character that could very easily go to the cartoony side, like in terms of who he is and what he does and things like that. I mean,
Yeah, but I think, given where the Marvel Universe is at this point in time, depending on where it falls in the
technically
timeline,
that's Fox. It's not Marvel.
but he's a Marvel character.
He is a Marvel character, but Marvel's not driving the ship of the movie, is what I'm saying.
Okay, fair enough. I guess what I'm trying to say is we have passed the point of, short of Deadpool, we've passed the point of goofy superheroes. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, that does not work anymore. And it barely worked when it did,
Deadpool is lightning in a bottle for sure.
Right, but I think it's also because of the type of character that Deadpool is, So when we're talking about Gambit, you have to understand that, like, yeah, he could be cartoony, he could be funny and that kind of thing, but I really feel like you've got to tell, he's got to be that French Creole guy that is just all about gambling and that kind of a thing. I don't know. So basically, we need Mel Gibson from Maverick to play Gambit.
That is a deep pull.
That solves
That's a
that.
good pull there. Yeah.
Yeah. Solves that problem. Done. Pay me money. What are you doing over there? Everything okay?
Yeah, I'm working on a YouTube thing real quick.
He looked panicked, guys. We got stumbled here.
you're fine.
Did you pull a butt fumble? Is that what happened?
No, but
Okay.
the royal wedding is on YouTube, not really. So I will feel better one way or the other about Gambit once we get
A trailer.
a director.
True.
A director will tell us a lot.
Well, I have a feeling that I wasn't as wrong about New Mutants as everybody acted like I was when I said I have no desire to see it, because that's been drawn out and quartered at this point. So who knows? I guess once we get a director, we'll know kind of what direction they'll probably go.
Well,
so I can see that.
So is X-Men though.
What do you mean?
Phoenix.
Yeah,
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 it's another good
got
example
pushed
of it.
really-
And I was really excited about that. I still am,
And they
but
got a bunch of reshoots.
yeah.
So
I don't know.
I don't either, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Could be good. Could be bad. We'll see.
I think it's going to be a hard character to play because he has a large fan base, maybe from like comics and 90s X-Men, but in terms of on-screen fan base, that character is really not well known.
Yeah,
he's been in X-Men Origins, and that was it.
And that movie got retconned. So,
but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so
that was the end. It like, yeah. I mean that's the only time you've seen him short of the animated series. But yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that. One character that a lot of people are really excited about is Captain Marvel, and they're also really excited about because you're going to see Phil Coulson, a young Phil Coulson, in his early days of S.H.I.E.L.D. 2019, that movie comes out. He said we'll actually be seeing a much younger version of the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Clark Gregg is quoted as saying, he's a bit of a new guy at S.H.I.E.L.D. He's a lot younger. It's the earliest we've seen him. So when he says, Mr. Stark, this isn't my first rodeo in Iron Man, maybe this is what he's talking about.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool.
So that could be very cool. I wonder if it's going to be like I wonder if they'll do it prosthetically or makeup-wise to make him look younger, or if they're going to go after the fact and CGI it.
I don't know. As long as it's better than Superman's mustache, I think we're all right.
Well, I think of like what they did with Tron Legacy.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah,
it wasn't that great.
Well, okay. What about Guardians Volume 2 with Kurt Russell at the start of the movie?
Not bad. Better. I mean, certainly better.
Better than Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, but Jeff Bridges. But that movie, like he was. Yeah. The thing is,
you got to think though. Technology's advanced from both of those movies.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? That's what killed me about Justice League was the technology's there to make it right.
Yeah.
And it didn't get done.
They should have hired Sam.
I agree.
Sam could have done
absolutely.
it.
I agree. In other Marvel news, Stan Lee has filed a $1 billion lawsuit against POW Entertainment for stealing his name and likeness.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't blame him, but that's crazy.
Suing POW Entertainment for fraud and conversion. There's a great article on Hollywood Reporter that has this. Basically, he's saying that so POW Entertainment was acquired in 2017 by a Hong Kong-based Camsing International, and they didn't actually. So the people who were running POW didn't actually tell Stan Lee the terms of the deal before it was already done. He is claiming that he is devastated by this because this is when his wife was, in her final days, and they basically took advantage of that. And the fact that he's been legally blind since 2015. So he says, he's like, one, I couldn't have read the contract, and two, he has no recollection of anyone ever reading him the contract. And so they're talking about basically the ability for POW to use his name, identity, image, and likeness on a worldwide basis. And he said he only authorizes the use on a non-exclusive basis. And so his lawyers are at it with that. And so we'll see.
And he's having all sorts of troubles.
Representatives from POW Entertainment are quoted as saying the allegations are completely without merit. In particular, the notion that Mr. Lee did not knowingly grant POW exclusive rights to his creative works or his identity is so preposterous that we have to wonder whether Mr. Lee is personally behind this lawsuit. There's no question Mr. Lee, who along with his daughter was and remains a substantial POW shareholder, clearly understood the terms of the agreements he signed. The evidence, which includes Mr. Lee's subsequent statements and conduct, is overwhelming, and we look forward to presenting it in court. So, another lawsuit to see, for Stan Lee to see what happens there. Which is, like I said, it's not a good thing. What also is potentially not a good thing is what this new Thundercats series
looks terrible.
Like. I don't know what is happening here. Cartoon Network has Thundercats now. They're doing a relaunch. It looks terrible. It looks... I don't even know what to say.
It looks childish.
Yes, for sure.
And it's a storyline that when we were kids didn't look childish. And it doesn't need to look childish.
It's true.
I get that maybe the anime version didn't go real well.
That was 2011, I think.
Yeah. I get that. But you could still find ground between, the 80s and 90s or I guess late 80s maybe.
Yeah.
And then
85 to 89.
yeah, so there you go, late 80s. All the way, up to the point where we got anime. You can find middle ground that doesn't look like this.
Yeah, I agree.
Because kids watch all kinds of stuff, and I guess maybe what they're trying to do is ride the coattails of it's not Justice League, it's Teen Titans. Because Teen Titans is so big and it looks that same way. It's very cartoonish.
Yeah.
That same style. And like I think let me say it this way. One of the things that I love about Scotty Young and his art is that on his covers, that's what his characters look like.
Yeah.
And they're always funny and the covers tell a story. And I think that's where it stops. Like, I don't think you make the whole story look that way.
Yeah, I agree.
I just don't.
So the official kind of synopsis for the series is staying true to the premise of the original series, Lion-O and the Thundercats barely escape the sudden destruction of their homeworld, Thundera, only to crash and land on the mysterious and exotic planet of Third Earth. Lion-O, the newly appointed Lord of the Thundercats, attempts to lead the team as they make this planet their new home. A bizarre host of creatures and villains stand in their way, including the evil Mumra, Third Earth's wicked ruler who will let nothing, including the Thundercats, stop his tyrannical reign over the planet. I just don't know. But they said that the original series in 85, 89, was more, I don't want to say, it was a cartoon, but there was at least some serious tone to it at some point.
Oh, have you ever watched the credits, read the credits?
I've never read the credits.
So on He-Man and on Thundercats both, they have a psychologist on staff. That was during the time frame where all cartoons had a psychologist on staff to make sure that they weren't messing with kids' brains. G.I. Joe had it.
Oh, really?
He-Man, everything had it. Yeah.
And they are taking this new series is taking a much more comedic bent to it.
I don't know. I guess if you're trying to reach kids, sure. But I miss the days where 80s cartoons ruled Saturday mornings.
Oh, yeah.
And you got life lessons from G.I. Joe and He-Man and Thundercats while also learning about these characters and having fun.
Mm-hmm.
And, we talked last week and about violence and all the things that kids are seeing. Can we not get back to that? Where Saturday morning is a time where you watch something, you learn a lesson even if you don't really realize you're learning it.
Yeah.
And you live your life based on that model, instead of having snarky sarcasm and all of that stuff, While it has its place in society, I don't know that I want my child watching it. I don't know.
I think one of the biggest things that is flipped at the time is you get today, when we were younger, there were cartoons for kids, and that was it.
Now we have cartoons for adults.
And kids. Yeah. Exactly. You've got
teenagers.
You've got your
high school kids.
You've got your Rick and Mortys and your South Parks and things like that, where previously it wasn't. The turn for that really is
started on MTV with Beavis and Butthead.
I was about to say.
You got Beavis and Butthead for sure.
And then you had the Max. That was another version.
Duckman.
Yeah.
Duckman?
Yeah, remember Duckman?
I have no recollection of Duckman.
Voiced by Jason Alexander, I think.
I don't remember
Really?
Duckman either.
Yeah.
I remember DuckTales.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. No, it's Duckman.
I don't remember Duckman. I remember Howard the Duck, the live-action movie.
I think they made I think Topps made a comic out of Duckman, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, back when Topps was doing some pretty good comic books.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I just wonder, where are they going with this? Because you're taking something that was if it's new, I totally understand it. It's a never been told story. I get it. But imagine if they do this to G.I. Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Like that.
There's a reason
there's going to be a riot.
There's a reason we haven't seen a G.I. Joe cartoon. Maybe they do make a G.I. Joe cartoon at this point, but I don't know how you do it. Because you can't. It's the Tommy gun argument for Batman the Animated Series in '92. Right. You could show people shooting Tommy guns.
Right.
Now, if you have
in Thundercats, when we were in the 80s, had guns. They were shooting guns.
Laser pistol type things.
Yeah.
It'd be a good subject to.
So my daughter's at Target with my wife, and there's a mini poster board stand up, probably about the size of Harper, of Lando, and she's standing right next to Lando, the new Lando.
Nice.
Yeah. And then of course she wants some $30 headphones from somebody called Jojo Siwa.
Of course.
who is a YouTuber. If you have
Okay,
kids, by all
I
means.
do now. Yeah, put that up on your camera. There you go. Yeah, Duckman. I remember
see
the visual. I never saw the series.
No, not drawing a blank. Actually, you know what? I take the back. I recognize it, but never watched it or anything. What was that on? What channel was that on?
I think it was also on.
MTV.
Was it
wasn't
MTV as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah.
See, I never watched the Max either. I just knew about it.
No.
And then Aeon Flux.
Yeah. Aeon Flux. That was on.
Oh, it aired on USA.
Okay.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's weird. Okay. Something else, another cartoon series that's getting a reboot or a remaster or whatever. Probably a reboot is a better term for it. Coming to Netflix, She-Ra, Princess of Power.
Okay. Netflix could be all right.
Netflix is picking this up. They're working with DreamWorks to produce it.
Okay. Like
So
where this is going.
So it is going to be gorgeous.
Yeah. Is there?
If
is there-
Shanna is still
there a pun in
watching,
there?
she just geeked out.
So
was she a She-Ra fan?
She's a She-Ra fan, and She-Ra, Jem.
Jim Hologram.
Jim.
Yeah.
I forgot all about Jim.
She's a Jem fan
You know,
too.
I when I was watching the Toys That Made Us. Have you guys watched that yet?
Spectacular show. Great
Yeah,
show.
so there's
Second
like
season's gonna have Transformers, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah.
So there's like a whole episode on Barbies, and it's kind of twisted how all those came about. But like, Jim was out, and they had their own figures, and Barbie found out about it, and they started making their rock version
Rockstar
of it.
Barbie.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, to compete with Jim. Isn't that crazy?
Gotta get that Jem money.
That's right.
Yep.
So is She-Ra? Because I remember I had a She-Ra figure. Was she in?
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the snicker that came from.
No, I
church.
Was she in the He-Man universe
Yes.
as well?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there you go.
One interesting.
There you go.
That's fine.
One interesting thing to note: the series is called She-Ra and the Princesses, plural,
Okay.
of Power, not the Princess of Power. Princess of Power.
Could it be a typo?
No, this is the poster.
Maybe
that
it's a
Netflix
typo.
put out.
So like her daughters, cousins.
Fabulous Friends.
Are we treating this as like a Wonder Woman thing? Like she lives on an island, and
Oh.
nobody knows about it.
You know they.
That could be cool.
All that we've seen so far.
Island of Netflix, yeah.
Island of Netflix, yeah. She-Ra and the Princesses of
Some
Power
strange
is
things
a
happen there.
story of an orphan named Adora who leaves behind her former life in the evil horde when she discovers a magic sword that transforms her into the mythological warrior Princess She-Ra.
Okay.
Along
And
the
it's a
way, she
He-Man
finds
style sword.
a new family in the rebellion as she unites a group of magical princesses in the ultimate fight against evil.
So okay, question. Because
Yes.
I don't remember watching She-Ra ever. Like, was that actually a show?
Yeah.
Because you said Shanna was a fan. Was that a show?
Yeah.
Yep, it
I
was
think
its own show.
I think did She-Ra first show up on He-Man and then they spun her off?
They probably did a backdoor pilot on He-Man, I'm betting.
Yeah. Possible. More than like at that time because you're doing like
What?
you're doing 60 or 70. I'm just letting that go.
Yeah.
The 60 or 70
Yeah.
episode orders like of animated.
It's when you start a
series.
show on a different show.
Yeah, I get it.
Yep.
I get it. Walking past it.
You're walking
Um,
right past it.
So here, do you guys remember? Because you guys collected cards. Do you remember? I think it was Topps. They made He-Man cards. Do you remember those?
I don't remember that set.
So
don't
I don't. Maybe it wasn't cards. Maybe it was stickers. But either way, they were shaped like cards. And so when I was a kid, I had this huge poster board, and it was all the He-Man stickers. Now I couldn't tell you where. I mean, it's been long gone since. But
I wonder if it was one of the remember the Panini booklets
Yeah.
with all the stickers on them?
no,
they
these
still-
were
they
these were
still
Topps.
They still do
These were
it.
Topps brand.
Okay.
Well, what they used to do, what like Panini right now, what they're doing because they've got the soccer license, is you have these booklets and the stickers you get are like country flags and stuff like that. So like Topps did sticker books like that back in the day. You
Yeah.
had something to put them in.
I don't remember what it was exactly. I just remember having the stickers and having my parents help because I was like 6. Having my parents help me put them on a poster board straight so they weren't all crooked.
Do you
Does that make sense?
remember at the time, like when you got the sticker packs, were they basically like in paper packs? Do you remember that?
I feel like they were in a card pack.
like a wax pack.
Well, yeah, like that
Yeah.
kind of a pack, yeah.
Church, you know what I'm talking about? Like the sticker packs. It's like a kind
Oh
of
yeah, I
like
remember
a
those.
thin paper.
Yep.
You could just
Yep.
tear it open and get the stickers, not open it.
No,
like
but
a
see,
pack.
I
It was
think
like
these,
the
I feel
it was like
these
a Fun
were,
Dip pack, except much smaller.
Yes,
I feel like
that
these
is
were
is
a,
a Fun Dip pack
Yep.
actually.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I feel like these were actually like a card
In
pack.
a wax pack.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna look it up. Hang
If
on.
we can find some unopened,
Dude, I would lose my mind.
I think we do that on some of the next breaks. So let's find the most random entertainment like
yeah, look,
centric
they
cards.
were cards.
Yeah, who made them?
They were Masters of the Universe tops cards. You see that?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. Huh.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, and I had the
eBay, here we come.
Yeah, I had the card.
We're starting
the
our own
image.
poster
The image
board.
that I just found is from He-Man.org, so I figured that might be a good place
well,
to go.
Of course it is.
But they were cards, and in those cards, they also had the stickers. Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of like how they still do. Like when they
Right.
did. Was that Top Series 1? No. Series
They were
1
in a
didn't
yellow
have
pack.
stickers last year, did it? No, that was the Fleer one we opened. When we opened Fleer and it was the team stickers, that came with like one team sticker per pack.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, I remember those.
And they still looked pristine 30 years later.
Well, yeah.
these were 1984,
Okay.
and they came in a 10-card pack, 1 stick of bubblegum, and 1 sticker. So apparently they had 1984 Supergirl movies too. Supergirl movie cards with what's her name? Last name Slater.
Helen Slater.
Yeah.
Christian.
No.
Christian Slater. Okay.
AC.
Ooh.
They're not going for much. $10 a pack.
Yeah, there's a sealed box of it. $295 to
Oh,
$295 for a sealed box.
I'm telling you, it's been one of those things that lately I've been trying to get all of the He-Man toys back and Thundercats toys back that I sold, and because those are really the only ones I care about. I mean, I had GI Joe stuff, but
Shanna has some She-Ra toys, if you want any of them.
yes, I want them all. Give
Okay.
them to me.
Well,
No.
we were going to sell them at a garage sale in a couple weeks, so
Well,
we can
I
give
will
you-
buy them if you're selling
we
them.
can give
Man,
you
we just
first
missed
perusal.
this. 5 sealed packs.
Some of them are chewed on a little bit
5
by a
sealed
dog, I think.
Okay.
5 sealed packs sold for less than $40 on May 16th on eBay.
Oh,
So I'm going to keep an eye on this.
Yeah.
We're going to get some of these things.
I'm telling you, I want some for my own collection just to have them.
Yeah. Sealed box. A sealed box sold. You think that 249 number is high? A sealed box sold April 15th for $250
That's not bad.
for a sealed box.
Yeah, that's not bad from something from '84 though. However, you gotta figure the gum's gonna do the same thing it did to those other cards.
Yeah. How many hits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many did we get a sketch card in there?
You get a sticker per
They're
pack.
all sketch
so
cards.
there's that.
I think we've also I think we've talked about this before. In Batman the Animated Series 2, I think of those cards, there were randomly inserted, allegedly, I've never seen one, randomly inserted Danny DeVito autograph cards from Batman Returns.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah. I've never seen one.
Is that a
but-
myth?
I was hoping you were going to say, like, cards with strands of Kevin Conroy's hair.
That's weirdly specific, and now I'm concerned for his well-being.
I haven't heard from him in a while, have you?
I have not. So we talked a while ago about the Mummy, the new Mummy, the Tom Cruise Mummy, and how it was supposed to restart the Dark Universe, and how that movie
Tank.
promptly fell flat on its face. Did decent overseas, and so they figured that it was dead, like the Dark Universe was dead,
Like the mummy.
like the Mummy.
and all of the Dark Universe.
put it back in its
terms
coffin.
of
Yep.
Why they're called the Dark Universe.
And so
Right. I mean,
everyone assumed it was done, like they weren't going to do anything. But then Robert Vargas posted on his Twitter, "Great meeting this morning with the amazing Dark Universe team. Thank you to Universal exec Holly Goline and Crash for the hospitality. Looking forward to contributing to the Universal Pictures legacy with my work. Monster things are in the works."
Very
He's
cool.
an artist, so
Yeah.
he may do. I wonder if he's doing maybe some posters or some some concept art for them. And apparently, if the Dark Universe team is there, then apparently still going. Allegedly, Bride of Frankenstein is next. I don't
do
know.
you think, and maybe this is just me, But do you think people got confused with The Mummy and The Mummy? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
do you think
Fraser?
that they just thought it was like a remake of the Brendan Fraser Mummy?
I think they absolutely did.
Because I did.
Technically, they're both. They would technically be both sort of dark universe. I mean, they're both Universal, and so there was a call out, a callback, or something like that to the Brendan Fraser movie in The Mummy. There was something. Oh, it was the Book of the Dead. So, whenever they're reading out of the Book of the Dead, I want to say in the first one, in the first Mummy, the Brendan Fraser Mummy, that book shows up. That exact book shows up in the Tom Cruise Mummy.
Okay.
So it is those universes are connected in some way, shape, or form, based on a book. So yeah, interesting. I mean, the thing is, like, I went and saw The Mummy with Tom Cruise. I didn't mind it. I mean, you know, if we could get some cool dark universe stuff, like some real old school monster stuff, it would be cool. I think the thing where things went wrong is you take something about The Mummy, which is like, you know, a classic old story. Same thing with Frankenstein and Dracula, and I think maybe they tried to modernize it a little too much. Like, lean into the classic of it. I would think maybe it would go over better at that point, but who knows? You know, we'll see what's going to happen next. So let's get around to, like I said, what Shanna called a long time ago, Lord of the Rings prequel allegedly focusing on a young Aragorn. Now, he is a Dunedain ranger, which makes him age really, really slowly. Like, when you see him in Two Towers or the other one, he's basically 90. The last one, Two Towers or Return of the King,
or the other one.
Or the other one.
That was
totally
awesome.
skipping one.
That was awesome.
Or the first.
Or the first
one of them. One of those 3 movies that came
Or
out a while back.
Or The
had something
Hobbit,
to
or
do
who
with
knows.
hobbits.
Yeah.
Shanna says.
Great.
Shanna says she has the Shira Castle.
Oh, I didn't know there was a Shira Castle.
Yep.
So I had Castle
Tara
Grey.
Kerr is waving, says hello. Hi, Tara.
Hi, Tara. I had Castle Grayskull, and right before Joni and I moved, we did a huge garage sale. Grog sale. And I give me a grog.
Sea of Thieves.
And anyway, I sold it, and I wish I wouldn't have, but you know, you live and learn.
Any of our listeners out there, if you ever find a sealed can, still has to be sealed, can of He-Man slime, you hit me up. You let me know.
Yep.
I want one.
I saw something on the SNS group. One of the guys posted the Michael Jordan rare air in a can.
The rare air in a can.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I still want it now. That's like a Spaceballs reference with Michael Jordan on it.
Yeah.
Like, it's fantastic.
So, everyone's talked about the Amazon Lord of the Rings series is going to be the most expensive series of all time. They've committed to 5 years. I assume it'll be Game of Thrones style, 8 to 10 episodes a season. But they're looking at focusing on young Aragorn as part of the storyline, which makes sense. As I mentioned before, from that one movie he was in, he was 90 years old at that point.
just one.
Just that
Hidalgo?
one. The Hidalgo. And Hidalgo, he and the horse also were 90 years old. I believe you only...
Horse looks good for 90.
It's true. I believe you only see them reference that in the extended version of, I want to say it's Two Towers, where he's talking with
or that
Eowyn
other
about...
one.
Or
it
that
could
other
be
one.
28 days.
Could be, yep. And... I totally derailed my train of thought. And
History of Violence.
History of Violence, that's correct.
Oh, God, that's such a good movie.
It was decent.
Where Eowyn is talking with her father about
Excellent
him.
graphic novel.
And
really?
says... Or maybe she's talking to him about... my father said that you served with him at some battle or whatever. And he's like, yeah. He's
No,
like,
that's Star Wars.
Your father has a good memory. He is also his father. Luke, I am your father. And
Wait, which movie is this?
I'm beyond confused because I'm pretty sure that Leia says that to Obi-Wan through
Wait,
R2-D2.
no, because what's his name? Vigo. Vigo isn't even in that. This is clearly 28 Days.
Clearly.
Okay. Okay.
Clearly 28. So
where he has drinking issues. Well, wouldn't you if you'd been through all that?
All those battles, and he's 9 years old on a 90-year-old horse. So yeah, he's old. He doesn't look it, and let's just put it like that. And so you could have a long series, a great amount of information.
Where's the Eastern Promises?
Good Lord. Are you just on IMDb right now?
No, I'm not.
I'm going
straight from his brain, man.
Hi, Joni. You have a weird obsession with Vigo.
G.I. Jane.
Is it Vigo the Carpathian?
Vigo the Carpathian.
Does he have Carpathian kitten loss?
I could probably link that somehow.
Hey, Mitch. What's up, man? Yeah. So in one of those movies, he's old. He rides a horse. There's battles. He drinks. And then he's Russian. But so if that's something they're going to do, I think that's how you tie it to the existing universe, bring in the existing fans, and you build a world around that. Because there are things in some of the appendices that he's done and the Silmarillion and other things where they could do so much with that character that it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility that it would go well beyond 5 years. So, like we mentioned before, Peter Jackson is somewhat considering coming over to do that, but that was 10 or 12 years or however many years of his life between that and Hobbit and all that other stuff that you don't know. He may be tired of the Shire at this point.
He's getting old.
The Road.
Okay.
That's another good one. That's nice.
That's a dark one.
Done.
That is
very dark.
Isn't that what some people think Last of Us is based on?
Yes.
Is it?
No.
No, I mean, is that what I'm saying? Is that what people think?
That is what I have seen that before. That is what people think. Yeah, or at least it informs or inspires it. But it is a dark movie. And other dark news. Google has a government contract in regards to AI, and a bunch of Google employees have since resigned because of it. Google signed a deal to provide artificial intelligence to a military pilot program, which aims to speed up analysis of drone footage by automatically classifying images of objects and people. And they don't like that. Ethical concerns over the use of AI, especially in drone warfare, is a kind of it's more than kind of a thing. It is a thing, because if drones are making decisions for you based on what they see, you lose that human aspect of it, and that is the next step of warfare. That's when you get to the, we joke about it a lot, but that's when you get to the Skynet part of it, where it's drones and this and that are making decisions and taking.
Let's be honest, we're already there. We've already put the infrastructure in place, and like the fact that Terminator so long ago used that method to tell a story. I mean, as
you knew where it was going,
far out as it seems. I mean, it's in reality, it's not very far. It's not as fake as it could be, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and so what's happening internally, some of these people, if there's an article on Gizmodo, there's a lot of things happening internally at Google that a lot of people don't really like, in terms of a lot of closed door not as much open door policy, things like that. And they, Google traditionally has been a place of open idea exchange and things like that, and apparently that's not the case anymore. And getting involved with things like government this and that or whatever is sort of a political thing.
Yeah.
And where some people don't agree with any of those things, and so a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people have resigned. There's been an internal petition that 4,000 Google employees have signed, saying to cancel that contract. And I mean, that's your workforce saying you're making the wrong decision. And here's the thing: if it was like 400 people, that's one thing. You're Google, but you're talking about 4,000 people, and that's saying something. It's called Project Maven. If you want to dig into it a little bit further, but if Google, that type of stuff, is getting into military work, that's, I see it best given the information they have about everybody in the world.
You think the NSA thing that happened during the Obama administration was scary? Think about Google.
Oh yeah.
I mean, metadata is not hard to pull identity from. It's not hard to find your location, your contacts, all that stuff. So then you tie all of that metadata processing into what Google has.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's game over, man. It's game over.
Funnily enough, so there was and thanks to Sam for bringing this to us, Google's original mantra, and it was in their code of conduct, was one very simple phrase: "Don't be evil." And sometime in the last several months, that phrase has been removed from their company code of conduct, because you would think Google would realize that the internet knows and keeps copies of everything. I mean, their sites, their whole purpose is they archive old versions of sites. And sometime in the last several months, the "Don't be evil" mantra for Google is gone.
Didn't they learn from, who was it? Was it Comcast?
Which part? About for doing what?
When they changed their, about the net neutrality.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Google, now they don't care. They're Google.
You would think that you're going to get caught doing this.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to market this,
you're talking about we support net neutrality. Then the next day it disappeared. Yeah,
just gone. Yeah, that you would think that they would realize how that went over and how that affected them.
Yeah, so but everybody uses Google. Not everybody uses Comcast.
Well, yeah, but everyone. There you go. So you're gonna reach. It's a bigger name. Yeah. It absolutely is a bigger name. And when you remove something as basic as "don't be evil," the first question is, why would you remove "don't be evil"? And there's a very simple answer. Well, maybe not simple, but there's a very quick answer to that. Exactly. So even
Terminator
if you're trying,
was a documentary, not a story.
Yeah, it was foretelling.
I've got it. Time travel. They travel back in time, made that movie to warn us.
Exactly.
And
James Cameron knows
we didn't listen. And apparently Avatar will also happen in the future, according to James Cameron.
Yeah.
But you're right. When you take something as simple and basic as "don't be evil," and you take that out,
what do you think's going to happen?
Exactly.
Well, and then on the flip side of that, if you're talking about artificial intelligence, I mean, look at iRobot. And it's kind of a deep cut there, but in iRobot, that was the whole premise of the movie. Is like, artificial intelligence, great as long as it works.
Yeah.
And if somehow
not too well.
Yeah. Somehow you eliminate their conscience that you've taught them, then all of a sudden they become human.
Well, you also, same thing, Matrix, the machines.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Which comes out on 4K next week. So stoked about that.
Yeah.
Also, documentary.
Yeah. The thing Google said, our technology is not being used to kill. If you have to come out and release that statement, there's something inherently wrong with what you're doing.
And additionally, who are they working with here?
Pentagon.
Yeah. Okay.
They're
clearly going to tell us the truth on how it's being used.
Exactly.
They're totally not going to lie or smokescreen Google either.
Technically be classified.
Here's the reality. Anybody with half of a brain can figure out that if they're supplying technology to the U.S. government for military purposes, it's not to build a Wakanda-style shield.
And I think, honestly,
it doesn't take a genius to figure that out.
We can totally believe that the government will totally use something for the reason that they say they're intending to use it for, and never change that and try to weaponize anything.
Well,
governments don't do that.
You look at the I forgot what it was called at the time, but the email program that got busted. That basically that they were all the
Yeah.
providers scanning
Yep.
emails.
The
stuff like
emo
that.
program?
Yeah, that was earlier this year.
So basically like all emails from major providers, things like that, were being scanned. Basically, like
They found a backdoor hack into it,
so they could basically read emails everywhere,
encrypted or not.
And but it was driven off of an NSA program. Like,
Right.
that's where it came from.
Right.
And
Which, that whole metadata thing started during the Vietnam War, and it was
Oh, yeah.
designed to keep everybody's identity encrypted and private. And the people that then created it at the NSA were then pushed out of the NSA and were not allowed to run the program anymore, at which point entered the Obama administration and all the stuff that came out about the NSA at that point with regard to how they were actually using metadata to know everything about anybody.
Yeah.
Because it's all unencrypted now.
Yeah, it's
So,
the
and that was not President Obama's doing. That was the NSA
that
being
was long
corrupt
before,
and
yeah.
all of that stuff. But it just happened to come out during that administration.
Yeah, and you
So-
try and take that out of play, and that's fine. It's going to get replaced by something else.
Yeah. There's probably thousands of versions of it that are already running anyway.
Yeah. One Google staffer is said that they were promised an update on the ethics policy like a few weeks ago, and have since had zero update.
The irony of the fact that they were waiting on an ethics thing, and it says they eliminated "Don't be evil"
Yeah.
from their ethics.
There's your friggin' update.
That's
Yeah,
a
there's
little
your
terrifying,
update.
yeah.
We are now not opposed. We don't say don't be evil. We're not saying we are evil. We're just no longer
Hey,
opposed
we're
to
But
not
do you
saying
think,
be
though, that-
evil.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, if it's in their ethics, that's not what I was going to say. Is if it's in coding for something like a drone, obviously, and it's a self-flying thing, you have to put protocols in place.
Yeah, and I mean,
So,
the
I don't know.
allegedly the
I
purpose,
still have a problem
The
with it,
purpose of it is basically image processing and classification. So if you see a building in this buildings in this configuration or this or that is most likely a terrorist camp. Or you see this in an image, you see basically the outline of a rocket launcher. That is a threat.
but if you're taking away the right to be evil, like that's a little terrifying.
Well, what's funny is like it reminds me of, and yeah, to keep our family friendly rating, we're not going to say anything about like exactly what ended up happening. But in Silicon Valley, if anyone watches Silicon Valley, they developed an app to recognize food, and then it goes sideways from there.
Sure.
And so like this is pizza, this is that. It's the same thing. It's image processing.
Yeah.
But if decisions are being made based off the AI's classification of said image without human confirmation,
yeah.
that's a problem.
And additionally, we're trusting AI to flag humans as safe.
Yeah.
What
That's-
does
Well, and
what does
I mean,
AI
let's-
eventually evolve to?
Let's be
What does
honest.
Bender say?
In
Blackjack and what?
in a lot of the countries where I could see this type of technology being implemented, with fidelity and obviously very intensely, you have to take into account that most people in those countries carry AK-47s and stuff like that, and not necessarily because they're doing anything wrong. I'm not saying that they're not doing something wrong, but I'm just saying there's probably a 12-year-old boy carrying one around, and he's a shepherd herding his sheep, or his goats or whatever it may
With
be.
authority.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
you're in the desert.
You better
There's
get
no
over there,
laws.
sheep.
It's not like you're calling
Scorpions.
the cops to get out there and come out and solve a problem.
I know.
And so
I can see the sheep.
I could
going,
just see an AI making a
Eunice,
really
we
poor
better
decision.
move. He's
and
got a gun.
I look at. I mean,
next thing we know, we've got a kid that's been killed.
Well, you look at. the RoboCop remake.
Yeah.
And the things that patrol the streets automatically and they scan whatever. That's really what this is. Like this is the first step to RoboCop.
Weren't those ED-209s?
That's randomly specific. I have no idea.
And the RoboCop remake.
It's possible. I've only seen it one time. The
guy
guy
who
who plays RoboCop.
Yeah.
Who also
He was
plays
also Rick Flag,
Also
right?
Rick Flag, and he's also in.
He's in a new movie coming out
House
too.
of
It's in a
Cards.
Netflix special. Or a Netflix show.
Yeah,
Carbon,
Alter
Yep.
Carbon.
Alter Carbon,
Yep.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Joel Kinnaman?
Joel Kinnaman.
All right.
For some reason, I don't know. He bugs me a little bit. I don't know.
Okay. Do you not know what ED-209 is?
No,
From RoboCop?
no.
I don't know.
Do you?
My brain is
From the
full
new
of
movie?
Batman
No,
knowledge.
the original.
I never
ED
really watched the originals.
Ed
very
209? It was the
often. Was
giant
that the big two-legged thing?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He just didn't
its
know if that
name.
was a product.
I didn't realize his name was Ed.
His name is Ed.
Eddie.
ED209.
Okay. Well, there we go. The more you know. See, there's the lesson you
And
learn from
knowing
cartoons.
The more you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
No,
Yo,
knowledge
Joe.
is half the battle.
Are you sure it's know it? We've had this conversation before.
Knowledge is half the battle. Right?
I thought it was now I know and knowing is half the
Are we
battle.
talking about the actual
Isn't it
quote?
G.I. Joe? Isn't
Yes.
it knowledge is half the battle?
Or just knowing?
Is it knowing?
Knowing.
Okay.
Yeah, like the amazing Nick Cage movie.
Wow.
Knowing.
Yeah, every episode concluded on G.I. Joe.
Goodness.
Knowing is half the
Okay.
battle.
All right.
Yo, Joe.
Okay. Go Joe.
Is it Gojo or Yo Joe? We've had this conversation before also. I always thought it was Yo Joe.
I thought it was Flojo.
Flojo, Florence Joyner.
And Gojo you use to clean your hands after they're really dirty.
That stuff's amazing. I don't know what's in it. It's probably toxic, but it works really well.
Lava.
Probably. You mentioned net neutrality
This is
earlier.
fun.
The Senate voted on Wednesday 52-47 to reinstate net neutrality protections that the FCC decided to repeal. While this is a great step forward, it will do absolutely nothing and go absolutely nowhere because it will never make it out of the House. Like, it just won't
I don't
happen.
know.
It won't happen. It just won't happen. And Trump will never sign it. Like, it is a great thing because while they expected 51, like they got some
Crossover.
support more so than they thought.
Could they label it hopes and dreams and then all of a sudden it would get signed?
Yeah, this is everyone's hopes and dreams.
Maybe.
So yeah, they're talking about we talked like this could happen, and it finally made its way to the floor, and the Senate voted it forward. But it's one of those things that it won't amount to anything because politics.
Well, I hope that you're wrong, but I know that you're probably right.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in the article from Gizmodo, I believe they call in the House they need to convince 25 Republicans to support net neutrality in order for the measure to pass, and they have until January of next year to get that done. So there's some time. However, the Gizmodo article calls the House, or some people in the House, quote, the viper pit of morons in that chamber. So, which is like, I kind of like, I mean, that's some serious shade. Like, I like that. The viper pit of morons.
Shade.
Oh, boy. Let's talk about some games. Because gaming, let's end this on some positive note. Sea of Thieves Hungering Deep, I believe it's next couple weeks. Free DLC. So it's coming out for free. I know you don't play as much, or you don't play at all anymore, Nick.
Nope.
But allegedly there's a Megalodon coming. So the Kraken's getting some...
Seriously?
Seriously. Is getting some
Does it
company.
take a 747 out of the sky?
Are we able to play as Jason Statham?
I don't think so.
Is there a Jason Statham Megalodon movie?
It's the new one.
Yeah.
Is there really?
Yeah.
It's coming
Oh my
out.
God.
We literally just saw a trailer for
Oh,
it like 3 weeks ago.
I was sorry. I was not thinking of Jason
You were there.
Statham. I was thinking of Jason from Friday the 13th.
Voorhees?
Yes, I was not thinking of Statham. You're right.
Well, they
there
are
is a
spelled and
Megalodon
pronounced
movie
similar.
coming out.
Yes, Jason and Jason.
That's why I was like, is there really a movie of like
Jason's are
Voorhees
similar.
is fighting with a machete against Megalodon?
I would go
That's
see that
crazy.
Well,
too.
here's the thing. But the thing, well, I would see that. But I think you made us hit on something. Jason versus Jason. Jason Statham versus Jason Voorhees. Like,
Well, I think
he plays
Voorhees wins
In the
because-
middle,
himself.
Aquaman shows up and destroys them both.
Jason Momoa, like
Yep.
Jason v. Jason v. Jason.
There you go. And then JDF shows up,
Jason David Frank shows up.
gets his
And gets killed.
gets his Dragon Zord going. It's game on.
Yep.
And then
Megalodon.
changes into Bloodshot halfway through.
Oh,
Except he's
perfect.
Not playing Bloodshot. Womp womp.
I know.
So that'll be cool. That'll be some fun to get back out on the open seas.
What about Jason the Red Ranger?
Yeah, that could work too. There you go.
Shows up for 5 minutes, gets killed. by JDF.
By JDF.
What'd you say?
Shows up for 5 minutes, gets killed.
He shows up for a couple seconds,
By
and
JDF.
JDF just goes, no, and kills.
Yeah, back fist.
Takes him out.
Shanna is confirming the fact that you have a really bizarre memory for random things.
Random things. Phil remembers a lot of random things.
Yep. So another one, Sue. So a franchise that I've abandoned a long time ago.
He said "and church" because Joni didn't realize they were the same person.
Oh yes, that's true. If you have not yet figured this out, Phil and Church, same person.
It's like Jason versus Jason.
It's like Prince and the Symbol.
Game blouses.
Game blouses.
Church is the alter ego.
Yes.
Like I'm Phil.
And Church is the symbol.
I'm Church. Yeah. Church doesn't normally talk like that, though.
That's amazing.
Church is the artist formerly known as Phil.
Oh boy!
Wish I could go by Church at work.
You should,
dude.
I'd like to.
Can you get an official name change? Work in a court. Be like,
could
hey,
you just say,
Judge.
"Listen, my name is Phil, but I go by Church. Call me Church."
I will take that discussion off air.
Okay. Shanna is still watching. Shanna, if you're still watching, we're trying to convince him to legally change his name to Church. So
then people could be like, "Take me to church."
That's true.
And you like,
and they randomly show up at your house. And
in
like,
a
"Who are
reference,
these people?"
in a reference to you is now not only fun, but it's
also
a song.
It's a
With
hit
a Hozier song.
Yeah, it is a hit song.
Yeah, I think this is a win.
I probably wouldn't be opposed to it so much.
I feel like we need to live stream it. You think they let us do that in court?
Yeah, no.
Facebook Live?
Yeah, I'm gonna say
No,
probably not
no.
on that one.
Oh,
Nah.
okay.
Last time I had to watch court from the courtroom, I was terrified that I was going to get arrested for something.
The last court I watched was Judge Judy. So
Yeah, well, I had to
Watch
observe.
court from the courtroom?
Yeah,
What
I
did
had
you-
to observe.
What'd you do?
No, I had to observe.
Shanna
for a
says,
class.
Shanna says
No, I
no.
mean like, oh, you were just
I
up
was there
for-
sitting for criminal justice minor, and I was just watching the process of it all. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
I thought you were like,
What
you
kind
were
of
on
court?
Law and Order, Law and Order
No,
Criminal
no.
Justice?
What kind of court?
It was
What'd you
like,
watch?
I don't know. People came in cuffs, so
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it was for real court.
So
John-
family.
Yeah,
Josh
I don't
says
know.
that
they
church
were in
is
orange
more-
jumpsuits. so I
Josh
don't know.
says that church is more of his department.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. This is true. This is true. But it just doesn't work with your name, Josh. I'm sorry.
I
Take
always
me to
wondered-
Josh. It just doesn't work.
Good job.
Just doesn't work.
So a franchise that I have left long time ago is Call of Duty, mainly because it's
You
duty.
said duty.
And the reason I left it is because I enjoy a good single player campaign, and a single player campaign in Call of Duty is 37 minutes, and
Seriously? Is it really that minimal?
it's like
They've scaled it down.
to like 4 hours or less.
Holy cow.
Yep. Basically, it's the Two Towers extended edition, like that length of time,
And then that other movie.
and then that other movie, which is a little bit longer.
Two something or others. I don't,
Call-
I don't
like Call of
remember-
Duty
remember
Black
the whole
Ops-
title now.
Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Lord of the Bringdings?
Lord of the
Pringles?
Lord of the Wings?
Lord
Is
of
it a
the
plain
Pringles?
movie?
Wingdings.
I think it's
That's the best font ever.
Wingdings. Was it Wingdings 1, 2,
Two,
3?
three.
Bold? Italics? Which one?
Underlined.
Lord of the Bell MT.
So Call of Duty Black Ops 4 has come out and said no single player, not happening. They're replacing it with a BR mode, Battle Royale.
I could've
Hello,
guessed that.
Fortnite.
Yeah.
That's
You
what's
gotta
happening.
try to ride those coattails for sure.
Absolutely. So, at this point, do I care? Nope. Do other Call of Duty players care? Probably. I'm not one of them.
Well, here's where they're going to make money off of that, because I've started playing Fortnite a little bit because I figured, man, it's free. Everyone's talking about it. I'll
But I
check
think
it out
that's
and see
why
what it
people
is.
like it so much. Is
Well,
because it's
that
free.
absolutely is. That absolutely is. I'm sure that's why it's gaining more than PUBG.
It's free and it's mobile.
Well, the controls actually work on Xbox.
What?
That
How
helps.
the controls on PUBG? Were they still wonky?
I haven't played in so long, but
I
they
have a
were
friend-
terrible the first time I played.
Okay.
Mitchell and I have a friend that plays Xbox. He lives in Oklahoma City.
Mhm.
That's all he plays is PUBG, so they have to fix it if he's
On
still,
Xbox?
Yeah, if he's
Or
still
maybe
playing
he's just
it. so-
hardcore.
well, he could be
Yeah,
hardcore. I
maybe.
don't know.
Um, But while it's fun, I mean, I kind of enjoy it. I would rather it be in a different format than the way Fortnite is. I mean, I'm not crazy about the building, but just the movement, the feel of it seems a little off to me. I would prefer it in a Destiny or honestly, a Call of Duty. That type of control.
They they got posted yesterday.
I'm not gonna buy it just to have it, but
they hit the limit of building. They hit the skywall last night.
Interesting.
They were doing it. Basically, two people were battling, and they kept building up and up and up, and they literally hit the sky ceiling in Fortnite. And then somebody blew out the building from underneath them.
So, they were talking about the Thanos thing.
Josh says control's okay.
Okay.
Control's okay?
Okay.
Okay.
So
they must have fixed it then, because I couldn't figure out. Yeah.
Josh, did you play it when they first dropped it? Has it changed?
He says it still crashes a lot.
Oh, that's not great.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing. That's kind of a game ender.
Speaking of games, I am going to, before I forget, so I'm going to start playing Destiny 2 on PC also, which means I have to start over from the very beginning. I'm going to Twitch the whole thing. Like the whole campaign.
You might be twitching when it's
I would have to. I would be twitching if I had to start over.
I'm going to start over, but I
almost thought
from zero.
Yeah, from zero.
Or do you think since you're starting Destiny 2,
there is no link?
No, but I mean, your character when you start Destiny, you're like at dead zero or you're at 100.
Zero, nothing. Like
how are you going to make it through the storyline then?
There's no character in which I can be pulled into. Like there is no character from D1 that transfers.
But I guess what I'm asking you though is in Destiny 2, when you start out, you have
maybe
your light.
Maybe I'm 100, but it won't matter.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna Twitch the whole thing and comment and say bad things. So he says no major changes in terms of controls. I don't know. Maybe I'm just inept.
I'll give it a shot at some
I haven't
point,
even unwrapped the thing.
Yeah.
I like the battle royale concept.
Here's the thing. PUBG on PC is really fun. Like, it is really fun until you accidentally get into a Chinese server and wonder why people are yelling at you in Chinese.
And then also like completely destroying you.
Oh no! Well, the thing. No, I hid. Did
you hide in the bushes?
Not in the bushes. I hid and I ran around, and then I got to like 7 left, and somebody ran me over with a Jeep. But
did they even know it?
Oh yeah, they knew it.
Oh okay.
Yeah. So this whole battle royale thing is, it's the wave right now. The Call of Duty is like, oh, it's going to be battle royale, but Call of Duty you have to pay for. So I'm really curious about what that happens. So we're going to get a. They announced everything just a couple of days ago, in terms of that. So this will be Black Ops 4 battle royale. Going to be very interesting.
Well, Josh, I think I'm going to try the PUBG thing, so I may have to link up with you at some point.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I think it is fun, but I just...
It's literally still sitting where I put it when it showed up at my house, in the wrapper.
So something... Chance the Rapper?
Oh my gosh.
A game that I am somewhat intrigued about now, but wasn't originally.
No, Parappa the Rapper.
So, No Man's Sky. So, No Man's Sky was a PlayStation exclusive for a while. Supposed to be this dynamically growing world. You can get out and explore things, find planets, all this stuff. It's supposed to be this huge thing, gorgeous game, stuff like that. Came out, didn't do half of what they said it was going to do, and sort of kind of fell flat. Now, they've added a bunch of content to it since then. And the next major update's coming in July, where they're going to do actual online multiplayer. Well, previously you were by yourself, exploring planets, doing stuff, whatever. Now you can take your friends. Now you can take your friends with you. Some people are because I guess there's some major hub in it where like everybody can go. Someone called it what's someone called it? Like a space of thieves, because you can steal stuff from other people. But the game is also coming out on Xbox One. So that now it's been released on PlayStation and PC. July 24th is when this big update comes up, and it's coming out July 24th.
Are you able to pilot a ship?
I believe
because
so.
That would be cool. That's one of the things I wish we could do in Destiny.
Yeah.
It really wouldn't serve any purpose.
No.
But I just wish we could do it.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see if this saves this game. If it doesn't, I think No Man's Sky is dead. It's already pretty dead, allegedly. I've never played it because I don't own a PlayStation.
I was actually considering, when it first came out, I was considering buying a PlayStation to get it.
Josh says it's awful.
Okay,
What's
well,
awful?
never mind.
No Man's Sky? Okay.
Well, he says prepare to get wrecked. I'm assuming, Josh, are you talking about No Man's Sky? Or are you talking about
he's probably talking about
PUBG?
PUBG.
If he's talking about, okay, either one. So I mean, No Man's Sky, I was the same way. Like when they released those initial videos of No Man's Sky, like it was gorgeous. You could go to all these planets, and it was like this game that was almost like growing on its own, new planets, stuff like that. So like running into people was incredibly rare. I think it only happened just a handful of times. Now there's a bunch of other stuff, but I don't know. We'll see. He says PUBG is what he's talking about. But there is a So I don't know. I mean, I will wait significant amount of time before even thinking about investing in an Xbox, just based on what happens. But it'll be interesting to see if it's worth digging into at some point on PC. I believe that is all the gaming we have, except there is a new Halo arcade game, Giant Machine, which is pretty awesome. Halo Fireteam Raven. I don't know if there is any of these locally.
It said it was going to be at Dave & Buster's.
Oh, yeah?
So
that might be worth it.
Yeah.
130-inch 4K screen lets up to 4 players fight Covenant enemies, vehicles, and spaceships. I feel like this is a team building. So, let's see. That'll be pretty cool. Not quite Halo 6. It's, screenshot looks pretty cool. Okay. Well, I think that's... We got anything else out there?
Nothing that I know.
Also, other than we know that the title is, what is it? Batwoman, I'm a woman now?
I'm a Batwoman now.
I'm a Batwoman now. Yeah, I'm a Batwoman now. That is your
That's going to be the oddest title from a podcast that has 3 dudes talking on it the whole time.
I have to say, I can't believe that the whole time they were making Deadpool 2, they managed to not reveal to anyone and not have any leaks get out that it was a Deadpool Logan buddy team up the whole movie.
Yeah, you would have thought that would have got out.
I feel like it would have, because Hugh Jackman made a ton of other movies in the meantime.
It's true.
Although the part where he started bursting into song was weird.
That was strange.
Yeah, I felt like I was watching The Greatest Showman.
Yeah. And the elephants. That was...
Yeah.
Yeah,
the elephants was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was
kind of
that was
part.
true.
Yeah.
Cable riding the elephant and having that childlike expression of wonder was the best part.
That was really good.
It's a family film.
It is a family film.
I mean, it definitely, I'd say it was definitely a family film.
So as people are commenting on Facebook, and then we're kind of getting to their comments later, it's because I'm not looking at the Facebook chat the whole time, and so like that's why I started talking about No Man's Sky. And Shanna's like, I think there might be a delay. Yeah, there's a delay. It's me not actually looking. Once we get the room reset for
we need to
video,
get like a screen up so we can.
Yeah, once we get the room reset for that kind of stuff, it'll be fun. But yeah, I think this will wrap up 87. We should be back next week. More shenanigans. We'll talk about Deadpool some next week.
We're gonna have mozzarella sticks and goofy stuff on the wall.
Absolutely. I need 20 pieces of flair.
Okay. I need a liter of cola. Because you're merging 2 movies by saying what you said.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of flair, I'm going to give Church his crown back. There we go. So
that is not a princess crown. That is like a jester crown. I'll take it.
I was going to say,
it says, I'll take it.
They said, do you think it is at all inappropriate, like not accurate? I mean,
no, the jester's crown is perfect.
Yeah, that's very, very appropriate.
So
for me.
Yeah. So, all right, this will wrap up 87. I'm a Batwoman now.
I'm an idiot.
I'm Cav. That's Nick.
See you guys.
Church 2.
See you guys. Be kind.
See you guys. Bye. Still live on Facebook. Still live on YouTube.
Still an idiot.
Still
a jester.
Thanks for checking in and watching, guys.